right, we're back.
We got the GTA references out of the way.
It's time for another session. Hooray! And
Yay.
great news is I finally got my shit together and made sure I got all of the episodes and am uploading them all on YouTube. And once the editor puts on thumbnails, they will all be there because I realized I only had 4 episodes up and we're on like session 9 or something. So
let's go.
I have finally gotten those fixed because I actually was missing 2 and yeah, it was a whole thing. Anyway, so if someone wants to do the recap and take us away, and we can go.
What happened last time?
Yeah, I don't remember.
All right, let me go to my expedition notes. So last session, Peas in a Bowl guided us to a place where we could buy a good rowboat, and we were assaulted by beggars who wanted us to pay them to shoot them, and also for anything else they could imagine we would give them money for. And then Ashlings caused a small riot by giving 2 pennies to the mud near them.
Oops.
We bought a rowboat for 2 weeks after much haggling. And then we went to the Great Rock. What is it called?
The Scarp.
The Scarp. There may have been some Norskins doing some punishment ritual thing on the way, and they may have shown up to try to kill Tehetekai and Peas in a Bowl for giggles as they climbed. But they were thwarted. Peas in a Bowl and Sotek managed. Peas in a Bowl and Tehetekai got to the top, only managing to fall once at the moment that Manfred was pointing to them to indicate that their safety and they were the reason why they shouldn't be betrayed. Why our 2 hirelings shouldn't betray us in this moment of peril in Skeggy.
Oh yeah.
That was humorous indeed.
But they caught themselves Peas in the Bowl pissed over the edge and had a secret conversation with not a man on a Pegasus. Definitely not, that Manfred may have seen. But we got a razorbeak feather, which is apparently a symbol of status, or 2 razorbeak feathers.
We got 2 of them.
Berard came across a ragged dressed man hiding behind the...
I don't remember where he was.
The King's Hill.
Yep.
Describing all the traps and things that prevent anyone from seeing the king, who is a she. And because she really doesn't want to meet any of them. And he is slightly not insane. And his name is Yes Lemon, because it's Sea Lemon. By how it is spelled. And that is...
Cinnamon.
He looks stable.
Yes,
I mean, he's more stable now. Oh, hey, I know who this is.
He is a purported grey wizard. And Ashling did a Shalya 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 dance that was not terrifying in any way, shape, or form, as 3 critical wounds were removed from this grey wizard, and he became very hungry. And Tehetekai has officially given himself the nickname Kai. This is how we can all call him now. But we brought Silimon to the stockade to get some food at Eureka. The safest place in town. We entered with the duel starting and P telling us this is the safest place in town. And that is where we cut.
Also, just to continue my tradition of pointing out the artwork, that is one Richter Kless from Archives of the Empire, Volume 2, page 80.
He wrote a good book. All right, GM, take us away.
As you have arrived in the Eureka, Peas in a Bowl very quickly ingratiated himself with a bunch of Killians and Stallions that were on the bar, and left you guys on a small table. Food was brought, as well as some drinks, some tea, some various liquors, and some types of meat, although none of them very, very pleasant to smell at. And after some time, because there was a bit of a discussion in character, Reasonable comes back. He has a cut coming down the side of his neck, as well as some kissing marks and a hickey on the other side of his neck. His hair is really messy. By the way, once again, the image of Reasonable. He's
That is such a dapper halfling.
his dressings are very rustled, as if he was either fighting or doing something else. And as he sits on the table, he grabs the nearest cup, dunks it down, just breathes very slowly, and says, "Alrighty, well, I got you some juicy information. So, one of the good things about the Eureka is that it has a good view of the port." And he points out to the outside, and there is it's not as much as a window as it is a collapsed wall to the side that opens up the tavern to the outside of to Skaggy. And he points outside and he says, "The king has made 2 proclamations in the last couple of days. She says that a big ship was captured, and that the individuals that were captured with the ship were to be made into thralls, slaves, or to be asked for ransom. And the ones for ransom are going to be kept in the King's Hill. However, the king has also made a proclamation that all of the individuals will be sacrificed to turn the galleon into a new warship for the forces of Skaggy." The 2 proclamations were made in public, and nobody really understands which one of those is true or not. The only thing I could figure out is that there's a bunch of people that were just made into thralls, but there are 9 individuals that were captured and that are either being kept for ransom or are going to be sacrificed in some kind of weird ritual by the king. And he kind of just shrugs as saying, "I talked to different people who gave me both stories, and they all seem to be telling the truth, so I don't really know what's happening."
How much food is around here? To get a ransom, they'd have to go all the way back to the old world, and then all the way back with the money.
The Peasant point to the harbor where there's a bunch of there's like a dozen ships by the harbor, and he points and says, "There are ships coming and going from Skaggy to the New World fairly frequently. From the people that I've talked to, they said that a letter asking for ransom has already been sent. Or at least that's what people were saying. That's what the king said, but they don't know if she was telling you the truth or not."
Am I
Takai's just
completely...
gonna.
Oh, go ahead.
He's just gonna be kind of nervously looking at the Warm Blood Squad, like he's like,
Am I completely out of my mind that we just go and talk to the king?
Oh, the king doesn't like to talk to anyone. And I'll gesture at Silimon. He said there's traps and everything to keep people from going in. That's how much he doesn't like talking to people.
Yeah, so if we make it through the traps, then we make it to the king. Simple, right?
Silliman nods. He has a full half of a salami as he's chirping down on the salami. And he says, "Yeah, I can... Yeah, they say if you get to the top, you can talk to the king and ask as much as you can, unless you bother her, and then she throws you down again, and you have to climb back again."
It's a
But if you
bold implication.
if you guys want to get to the King's Hill, I can help you. I can't get there by myself. I tried 54 times, but I can help you guys.
Yeah, who's counting?
I am.
What if we were to just free the thralls?
I don't think the thralls are the ones who are being ransomed.
Oh, then why don't we just free the others?
They're in the same
Tehetekai nods.
trapped house as the king. If that rumor's true, that's the king's place, right? Next to the Scarp.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they're in there, so we'd have to go in there anyways if we wanted to get them out. They're not on that, what's it called? The little land thingy sticks in the water.
The stockade?
Not an island.
The place I cannot pronounce right now.
Kelliness?
Kelinas, yes.
That thing.
Peas on a Bowl does point out to the place, which you can see from the location you are. There's a stretch of land that is part of the seawall that protects the harbor of Skeggy. And at the end, there are an amalgamation of small houses. In which, at the ground, there's a bunch of sharp rocks coming out of the sea towards the sky, almost making like a jaw of a shark. And he points there and says, the great amount of people that were captured are there. The more important people are probably going to be in the King's Hill or some other place that is considered safe.
I think my plan of talking to the king is probably best. Considering she might want something. And no, I'm not just talking about gold.
Yeah, Tehetekai's kind of out of his depth here.
Oh, I mean, they did take the ship. What was it? The South Star, with all 100 cannons. Do you really think she's just gonna go, yeah, you can take them for that bit of tobacco you got there?
I'm not talking about the ship, I'm talking about the Kohlers.
Yeah, the people that are going to be either ransomed or sacrificed?
Mm-hmm. She might want something for them.
Probably could we pay it, though?
Might not be money.
That's
Might
even
be-
worse. You have
Might
seen
be
this
something
town.
else. I know.
What if she wants us to go and get crabs and bring them to her?
Egon / Manfred just slowly sits staring into the empty void for a few seconds before shaking himself out of it. Look, this place of horror is probably the only thing, well, probably the only place that the Kohlers would not want to be. Egon is actually slightly flustered by that one. He doesn't actually quite know what to say.
If she has crabs, I could take care of that.
Not those, perhaps.
Tehetekai is going to keep his voice as low as he can, but say, "Why not 3? Easy target first, then steal He kind of looks over at Egon and quirks his head and says, "Colas."
Well, even if we wanted to, we'd first have to get up to the King's Hill and then confirm that the Kohlers are in fact there and not somewhere else. Though any way you slice it, we're going to have to go up that hill.
Oi, Peas, you've been here a long time.
Longer
Or
than
so
most,
you
yeah.
lamented.
Yeah.
There been any time some of those people at Codunus or ever escaped?
Some of them do try the sea. Usually, every time there's a new batch, some of them jump at the sea. Usually fail. If you're asking if there has been like a rebellion of them, none that I have heard of. Although Skeggy seems to be always at the tipping point, so one could happen at any moment.
Right, so there's never been a time or a tale of any of them escaping from the common thralls.
Not that I ever heard of.
Then we must see King. Yes?
Egon nods.
Peas does like click at the table, kind of like points at the table and says, There is something else that I have heard of. I have no idea if it's true, but I have heard that one of the 9 escaped, and then there was another person that was brought to their place.
Wait, one of 9?
One of the 9 that were going to be ransomed/sacrificed got away, and they took another one to take his place
Yes.
from the thralls.
That's an arbitrary number.
They say they fled into the city, and another nobleman individual was brought in his place. His or her, their place. I don't know who the 9 are.
So you're saying there might be someone somewhere in this god-forsaken town.
Actually, I don't think he would use the word I. Tetekai. I'm supposed to say my nickname. Kai. Yeah, it's Wednesday. Kai, find one that flee. Kai, track.
That's
Yeah.
not a bad idea. They're probably injured, so it should be easy to find them.
If they were easy, don't you think any of those... What do you call them, Peas? Those men with the chainmail and all the habits of bashing people over and over after they've died.
Jackers.
Oh,
Wouldn't
not
they
for
have
them.
been looking for them?
For somebody who can track
Oh.
blood.
Windtail can track blood?
He's an animal.
Warm bloods. Poor trackers.
Well, that was uncalled for.
Peas gets really confused. That you see, he frowns for a second, and then he just kind of just lets it go.
Shrugs.
Yeah.
Kai, find. You find other ways.
All
Yes?
right. We'll
Yes.
meet back here after I don't know how long. Wait, what time of day is it? Just about
Late
Night.
night. Ugh.
Yeah.
Um,
Getting to like midnight.
Rest,
um,
rest now. Look. With once again looks at the halfling trying to search for the right word because the word he wants to use is not the word that he can use in this instance. Search
Reasonable makes
when
a point
light
of like putting
rise.
as you're talking. Reasonable does make the point of like putting both thumbs on his ears. Is like, I'm not hearing. You can speak.
I don't trust him.
Peas nods and says, "I can get you all a room for the night."
Oh, that sounds lovely.
agreed.
That would be nice. Peas, you're a man about town, knowing lots of people.
Halfling about town.
Halfling
Well,
about town, my specialty.
My apologies, Mr. Thumbledown Stoutheart. I was
Apologies accepted.
wondering, if I was to give you some, he will pause and then lower his voice, shillings, would you be able to find out if there's, say, among all those people who don't want jobs as thralls, who happens to be a Fletcher or a Bowyer, would you be able to find if there was someone like that in town?
I can ask around. Some of the stallions do use bows. They may be able to know something.
That would be helpful, because I am looking for a bow, and I don't think those just are easy to find here.
He kind of like does some calculations on his fingers and says, "How about you give me a shilling and I'll see what I can do."
Alright, I think that's fair.
You're not just going to take the shilling and run away, are you?
Oh no, I wouldn't get
Okay,
far.
good.
Short legs. And
Immediately trust them.
he he kind of hops off from the stool and goes towards the innkeeper, talks to him a little, brings back a key, and he gives you some directions to find the room. It says
Egon
uh,
immediately takes the key.
closest to Kejanes, there is a small shack. There should be some markings on the side. They're probably going to be in stallion. You're not going to understand, but if the key fits, it should open.
Right.
In that case, we head out. Well, finish whatever refreshment we have. And then head out.
Silliman follows you as he says, "Would you mind if I stayed with you for the night? I
Sure,
have
we
nowhere
need
else
you
to go."
tomorrow. Sure, we need you tomorrow, so may as well.
All right, let's do this. And he follows you guys. Peace stays.
Where stay for night? Safe place.
Can we go out on the stockade and just point him to the cluster of shacks?
Yeah, it's a little hard, but after some time, given reasonable directions, you can find a little shack that is closest to the sea. That does open with the key.
So yeah, we establish our little safe house, and then does Tantakai go out in the night? I mean, I suppose that's the easiest. He has night vision.
Yes. While y'all are here, Tetekai is going to go do his search now because it'll be easier to avoid people, and he also can be a little bit more free with like how he maneuvers around. So yes, I'm going to go see if I can track me some quarry.
Tetekai, please be careful.
Yes. Much care.
Good.
So a lot of Skeggy is flooded, right? At this time of year?
Yes, most of Skaggy is flooded.
Okay, so I am actually going to leave my cloak with y'all, and Tetekai is just going to maneuver through the water. Because that'll be a lot easier for him.
Mm-hmm.
So
goes our lizard.
before he leaves, with the cloak still on, he's going to talk to Peas in a Bowl specifically and say, "What know about one that fled?"
He scratches his chin, and you see he's about to say something, but then he puts a hand on his pocket, and then he comes back to, they say it was a woman, small woman, green cloak, about 30, 40 years of age, something like that.
Any knowledge to where flee?
He says there's two different possibilities. Either she went to the foreign town where she could hide more easily, or she went to the slums where nobody would probably be looking for her.
Okay. Tetekai will
And he points to
bob
the
his
slums
head.
in the foreign town.
Alright. Tetekai is going to leave, cloak still on. And once he's like out and away, he will take it off and secure it near where we're staying. And then he is gonna go for a dip. And he's actually gonna go to the slums. Do I need to make any kind of like stealth check or anything along those lines?
I think, sorry, I was coughing. I think because you are inside the water, I think stealth rural might be applicable for this.
I'm cool with that. Gets me a couple of extra points.
Yeah, not much, but still helps. It's gonna be a challenging roll.
Do I get any bonuses for? Would it be possible for it to be average, as I'm able to hide beneath the water due to aquatic?
Because of amphibious, right?
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Oh my good god. Do I want to use my fortune point on the first roll of the day? I really
There's a lizard.
Hold on.
Well,
Wait until the GM rolls
Yeah.
a post perception.
I'm going to say this is going to be opposed, so you can wait for my result and then check
Oh,
if
neat.
you want to roll on that. Because not the most perceptive folk.
Well, it's dark
There's a
and.
lizard.
All right, great.
I mean, that's
Nice.
worse.
That's right. You have a lot of difficulty just because there's a lot of debris underwater. So a lot of your efforts, you're kind of like swimming around and you bump your head into something. But like most people, most of the Jakars that are kind of like going around the area are preoccupied with something. So most of them don't really pay attention. You get to the slums. The slums are not unoccupied, Most people are now asleep, but there are still some warrior individuals, noticeably worse, with like worse weapons and worse armor. Most of them seem to be sickly or older, or some of them even younger, that are kind of patrolling around. So the slums are not empty right now, but you do see that there is the people that are here, the Jakars that are circling around, seem to be worse for wear than the others.
All right. Tehetakai wants to look for. He wants to be kind of spying on people that don't have a place to stay, that are kind of just being forced to face the elements and stuff. And he's kind of very swiftly looking for people that are trying to remain hidden, so like staying out of sight, have a green cloak, and are a woman.
All right.
That's kind of his like search criteria as he's maneuvering his way through the waters.
Make a track check, and because of the information, make it average.
Okie dokie. +1.
You find, as you're looking around, you have been around warm bloods just enough that you can gotta get some minor information from looking at how they behave. A lot of it is a more complicated feeling because they're very different from you. So a lot of their reactions are very unnatural. But something you haven't had to deal with are the desperate, the dispossessed. The slums give you a very, very fucked up outlook on warm bloods. Because these are the people that truly have nothing and are still losing. Most of the houses are completely underwater, so people are having to sleep on the roof under the elements. There are some wreckages and destroyed houses that are still being used despite there being very little house inside. And the sounds of casual violence still fill your ears as you're skulking around. However, you do notice something that is unusual to you, which is pride, which is kind of like what catches your attention. You see someone that has not been broken yet, and that is what kind of like catches your attention. Is like, I recognize this pride, this will to live that I haven't seen in any of these thralls, in any of these people. These warbloods are all fucked up, but this person is not. And it kind of like catches your attention and you gravitate towards that. On a half-sunken house. So the house kind of tipped over as if it was a ship. So it is, half of it is under the water and kind of like sliding inside the mud at a 45-degree angle. But a little bit up from away from the water, there's a woman, green cloak, although it seems to be very tattered and very muddy. Kind of hard to see that it is green, but after a while we do identify it to be green. She is dealing with one of the warriors. And you see that the warrior speaks to her, and she nods her head, grabs from her pouch a coin, and as she goes to give the guy the coin, he grabs her hand, she grabs him by the neck and headbutts him. The guy curses out loud in Norse, and she grabs a dagger and puts it to his neck, and he kind of like just dismounts a little and takes a step back, and she sheaves the dagger again, and the guy leaves with the coin. After that, the guy leaves, and the bunch of people, a bunch of these Jakars that were outside, start dispersing around the city, and the woman sits on the ground, kind of like pulls the cloak down from her head and just like puts both of her hands on her forehead and keeps like massaging her forehead.
Do I recognize her from the voyage at all? Like, did I ever encounter her before we left?
I'm going to say no.
Okay.
This is not a familiar face.
Tehetakai is going to he's going to approach behind her, like within the water. He wants to get close without her noticing him yet.
Yeah. Give me another stealth check.
Let's see. I'm just not feeling very stealthy today.
Well, so long as everybody else is less perceptive than you are.
As you're getting inside, you push against a part of the building, and a part of the structure that is like falling crashes into the water. It doesn't hurt you, but it does pull attention to you. You're still inside the water, so she cannot see you. But she does kind of like whip her head, and you can see as she rises and pulls the dagger from her back.
All right. Tehetakai will slowly emerge from the water, but as he emerges, he's going to say, "No scream, no run, friend."
You see she like opens her eyes and kind of takes a fighting position, but doesn't like rush you. She just, are you?
Came with voyage. Tehetakai guide.
Oh, you were the guide. Ah, I thought you was. Never mind.
Came
What are you doing here?
to help you come with.
All right. Have you come to rescue the others?
Yes.
I hope you brought an army. This is not a good situation to be in.
He doesn't respond to that. He'll kind of like, as he crawls back down in the water, he makes like noticeable little waves and say, "Follow."
You see she nods. She picks up a couple of coins, puts it on a nearby like ruined table that is still slightly in place, and she hugs her cloak and goes to follow you.
All right, he'll kind of swim very close to isolated walkways to try and keep the two of them away from any prying eyes, and he will lead her back to where we're staying.
Make me another stealth check.
Okie dokie.
I'm not gonna make a stealth check for her. Just gonna be you against them because you're guiding her. So.
Do I get the plus 20 underwater bonus for this one, or no? Because I'm trying to kind of like keep her be where she can see me.
I'm going to say because you are guiding her, this is going to be a challenging.
Huzzah! Plus 3.
No one seems to notice you as you're going about, and you can make your way back to the Eureka, not being hassled by anyone.
All right. When we get there, Tehetakai will kind of pull himself out of the water, wrap the cloak back around him, and then he will open the door and gesture for her to go in.
You do see she has her hand on the dagger, but she does enter.
And Tehetekai will kind of... presumably the party is asleep?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Is
Aisling
anyone?
Aisling doesn't have a reason to stay awake.
Nope. Same here.
Berard
we
is sleeping unless gosh, I can't remember their names.
Eagle
Ingvar.
and Ingvar.
And Ingvar are nervous and are like ask about setting a watch or something because they're afraid the Estalians will come in here and brutally tousle their hair and cut them.
The
Not
Ingvar and
there.
Yilgoth are a little scared. They would have proposed a watch or something like
that. Berard would take a shift with so that there's at least 3 people doing watch shifts.
You would probably be the one who would be awake at this problem.
Then as we enter, Tehetekai will see Berard and say, "Found her. We rest now. Move when Sotek rise."
Alright, that's the chili in the sky, right?
Yes.
Berard will beam, having gotten it right.
Tehetekai is gonna go find a comfortable corner and go to sleep because he is exhausted.
You see the woman as she like enters the shack and just huddles close to the door and kind of just like hugs her knees.
Right, hello, welcome. I'm Berard.
Hello. It is
You one of
pleasure to
the
meet you.
Coalers men on the, what was the name of it? The South Star.
Yeah. I was accompanying my a friend. She was my tutor.
Oh, that is rough. You know if the
Yes.
Wave Lord made it?
He has survived. Yes.
Is he one of the 9?
The 9.
The Halfling that got the information said there were 9 of the people on the ships that they captured that were being kept at the King's Hill.
Oh, yes. Didn't realize they were 9. Although they would be 8 if I'm not there.
Rumor is they got someone to take your place.
Right.
But you can get some sleep. We'll probably need to talk in the morning.
Aye. Yeah.
Didn't ever get your name.
You see, she has a second, and then she says, "Herta Denzo."
Alright then, Herta. You have a good night. Well, the best you can in a place like this.
Thank you. And you see, she continues to like hug her knees and gets very close to the door, and just like tries sleeping, sitting up. The morning comes. So for those that still have wounds, you can roll for healing overnight.
Yes, me, please.
I look forward to another failed attempt to regain wounds.
Turns out falling hurts.
That it does.
Hey, look at that.
Hey!
So
Good
for
roll.
You could just drag the result from chat into your sheet, and it's gonna heal you by itself.
Oh, yeah.
nice.
I figured that out yesterday.
I would love to learn this incredible wisdom. But anyway, yes, morning.
Morning comes. However, before morning comes, I am going to have to ask all of you to make a test for me.
Oh boy.
I'm just gonna grab my notes here because I closed them for some cursed reason. Just gonna find something right here.
All right. What horrible disease did we catch?
No disease.
Gonorrhea herpetosyphilitis.
That's so yesterday.
Okay, what parasite do we have?
Don't worry, that's just you.
It's okay. It's okay. Currently, they're going for 9 sacrifices, so we've got Zinch problems, not not Nurgle problems.
I am going to
Not
ask.
yet.
I'm gonna have to ask all of you to make a challenging endurance or cool test, please.
Well, I know what I'm doing.
Me too.
What is my
Challenging endurance or cool?
A 32 or a 43.
Hey! Nailed it. Oh,
Apparently.
Oh no.
Hmm.
Do we get to know what happens on a failure before rerolling?
no. That's
Nope.
cheating.
Look, there are a couple of things that ask for
I
either
make it.
endurance or a cool test. I'm gonna let you ponder about those, but it is.
Yeah, I'm gonna reroll. There we go. That's better.
Hey!
Why do I not have cool dice? Where are my cool dice?
Wait a minute. Oh, never mind. You rolled a 67. Never mind. Can't reverse that.
Yep.
Yeah, trust me. I was thinking about that.
So, for all of you, as you wake up, something you do notice is that none of you have dreamed this night.
Ugh.
It
Wait,
was a very
we
quick
noticed
sleep.
that each of us noticed
Yeah.
that we didn't dream.
Each of you know that you didn't.
I
you
only
didn't
know
dream.
that Egon didn't dream. I don't know about myself.
Yeah. Look, I'm sick and Brazilian, okay? Have a little mercy on me on the grammar here, okay?
There's an oxymoron. Yeah.
It's a very quick sleep. Like, as soon as you fall asleep, you wake up a little drowsy. Some drool next to your mouth, and just like this very quick moment of almost like a restless sleep. You are rested. Most of you that have wounds have healed them overnight. You do feel a little sore, but you do notice that you haven't dreamed at this time.
Oh, thank Tall. Finally, the mosquito dreams are gone.
You dream of mosquitoes?
Brad will scratch the hundreds of bite marks on his arms.
You really should put something on that.
Oh, I did. It doesn't help.
Do you want me to tend to it?
Or is it going to twist my limbs in horrid angles and make crunching noises?
That's not out of the realm of possibility.
I think I'm fine.
Okay.
Tehetekai is going to wake up, and he very slowly stretches and kind of limbers up all of his muscles, and then blearily kind of looks around, having to sleep with clothes on, which was profoundly uncomfortable, B, sleeping inside a building, which isn't necessarily better, especially this ramshackle place, and C, there's no sunlight on him, and he is sad.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any food?
I forget.
I
Were we
have-
fresh out of food?
Yeah, I think we literally had burned through everything.
To arrive to Skaggy, you burn to most of it.
Okay. I can head out and gather some supplies.
I go with. Not safe alone. Also,
Yes.
I found, and this Tetica will point, if she's still there, at the woman.
Yeah,
Oh.
she's
Oh.
on the corner. She's like huddled on the corner with the dagger in her hand, and like kind of like looking you with sunken eyes.
Oh, hi.
Right, everyone, this is Horta. She killed a Mr. Denzel.
Not
Well
Denzel! Okay, sorry.
No.
Are you injured?
No, fine.
Body, soul, okay?
She ponders at that and says, "I'm fine. Thank you."
Very well.
I want to intuition that.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to as well.
Challenging or
You'll say challenging because
average?
it's going to be contested.
Yeah, no, I rolled terribly. Oh wow, that was really. Yeah, Egon believes her.
Can't lie to a healer.
I mean, they might be able to. It's a contested roll.
Getting up on the floor, dancing to the break of dawn, dancing.
Nope. She seems to be telling the truth.
Very well.
Never mind.
What type of food do you prefer?
Edible.
Anything, yeah, anything edible. I'm not picky about it.
Right then, I shall go gather us some insects.
Don't you dare.
Tactica's very excited.
She gives a
Sure.
smile. Maybe for she looks at you and tries to remember the name and then just goes Ted and walks away.
Not for tonguey, then.
Oh yeah, where is Tungy? And I go and pick up my lizard.
Tatica gives a wide berth to the lizard.
It seems
Shit's
to be staring
dangerous,
at you
yo.
back.
But yeah, I will go with her.
Ingvar and Egolf
Ashling is
also-
the danger.
Ingvar and Egolf also volunteered to go with Ashling, just to be sure.
Yeah, well, I guess the situation of a priestess of non-violence with a small child isn't exactly "don't mess with us" material.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
pull out my gun.
we need to get Ashling a blunderbuss that's called the Peacemaker.
No, it's got to be called Nada, so I can pull out not a gun.
This is horrible. I hate this.
Look, if you are a priestess of Verena, you might be able to get away with the technicality.
I think I could get away with a technicality.
I mean, if it's called non-violence, can using it be violence?
Yes.
See?
I
No.
hate this. I truly hate this.
I mean,
Anyway.
if I name my machete kindness, I can kill people with kindness.
See?
Yep.
But on a side note, can I use Trade Herbalist to actually search for edible herbs and teas?
Oh my god, Egon is a Florida man, I just realized.
You're gonna try. He is. You're gonna try to do that inside
I'm gonna
Skaggy,
go
or are
wrestle
you going
some
to go
gators.
outside?
I'm gonna follow the creek that Tahetakai was using.
Well, I wasn't
Gotcha.
following so much a creek as this whole place is just like a lake with buildings sticking out of it.
Okay, then the edge of the lake.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead and roll me a. Do you have trade herbalist or something?
I do.
Okay, then roll me a trade herbalist.
That's a skill I want so bad.
Average.
Average, yes.
I do it.
Nice.
Nice.
Is there some property of tea you're looking for specifically?
Sorry, my immediate thought was to like, you know that video of the gorilla who's digging around in the grass and then just picks up a waffle.
What?
I gotta find this video.
I thought your answer was going to be like iced tea or something.
No. Jokes aside, I'm gonna actually look for now this is something I actually know as a person. I'm gonna look for dandelions and commonly grown plants that I know are non-toxic, because those can make teas.
Okay.
Tatakai will assist as far as like, yes, that one is not toxic. No, that one may look not toxic, but it's super toxic,
I
etc.
could also use trade herbalist to make really, really, really deadly poisons.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
indeed.
why it's such a good skill. I wish more characters had it.
But I can't do that here.
Ingvar and Eagle follow you as much as like they just keep an eye out around you. You find a good amount of just like different herbs and side stuff. It's a little different from what you're used to, but with Tahatakai's assistance, you can find similar herbs to the ones you're used to.
And then the other thing I want to search for is just fruits
Okay.
and edible roots.
I think that's going to be an outdoor survival.
I can do that. Check it.
I will assist.
Probably gonna have to get a little closer to the wall.
Oh,
Yeah,
and I got an
average check.
assistant.
Plus 10.
Yeah, average
Where
check plus
do I
10.
put the 10 in?
It's a bit
Advantage?
above. No, it's above.
It says modifier. You just type in a 10.
So 10.
10.
10. Oh, dang. We almost
need
had it.
Food.
Oh, dang. We
Wow.
almost had it.
Is that the same result?
No, it's
the same
close. Oh, no, it is. Yeah. Boo! Boo hiss dice.
One in 10,000. Gotta love it.
It feels like it happened. I
As
wish.
you're
You know
looking
what?
around.
Hang on. I will use another. I can do. No, because I can only get it to plus.
Mine is 0.
Yeah, you'd have to use 2 points to make it a pass.
Yeah, no, it's not worth it.
Nah, we can just buy food.
Yeah, I was trying to save us muns.
Getting close to the wall, you do notice that a lot of the there's not a lot of things growing inside Skeggy. So to look for not herbs, but like fruits and things like that, you would have to get a little closer to the wall or to the farms. But then the farms, you're probably gonna have to steal some. So the walls would be foraging. However, you do notice that the trees and the bushes growing near the wall are very aggressive, and very few of them have any fruits to speak of. A lot of them are very thorny and as much as like a weaponized tree can be. Most of their aggression is like trying to burrow and destroy the wall and not really reproduce. So most of them don't have fruits or flowers or anything like that. It's a very dead wall next to the wall itself.
Okay, makes sense.
So you have a little difficulty. There are some places where you could find fruit, but most of it has been picked by the watchmen that are on the wall itself.
All right, so the next thing, just to make sure we have food, I will just go into the slight towns like, oh my god, I have a single penny. Yeah, never mind. I'm gonna say
Maybe let's ask Ingvar and what's his face that came with us.
You go.
Perhaps they have coin that we can extort from them.
Do they have coin? That is a good question.
I certainly hope so.
Damn, I should have handed you the rest of my money.
You could have gotten his money if that is the.
I mean, yeah, if she was going out to buy food, I would have handed
No,
over.
she was heading out strictly to collect, and when she came up failure, she was heading to buy food.
Oh, damn.
So I don't think she would have the hindsight to actually ask.
Dang.
And I have no concept of money as a value.
I think I think I took all of your money.
Yeah, you did.
Yep.
No, you gave
Get right.
Berard all your money, and
He
Berard
took advantage of my naivete.
Ingvar and Egolf have already also given their money to the rowboat. So
Shit.
they also
Huh. Well, do you think any of them would be willing to donate to the Church of Shalia?
Kai could steal. Take.
The stealing is wrong, but I won't look.
Tehetika is gonna look for like a vendor that has what looks like edible food. He's probably gonna lean towards more insectoid stuff.
For sure. Now that you're in the daylight of Skeggy, you start noticing a lot of the environment of Skeggy being very very alive. Now that it is like early morning, you see a lot of people around, from merchants to thralls going and doing things around the city, as well as people from outside. You start seeing a lot of people from the Empire and beyond. There's not a shortage of visitors here from the outside, and both people from Skeggy and from outside also have some merchant stores and things like that. You could try stealing from one of them.
Tehetika is actually going to look for someone that looks like they have lots of those little coin things, because that is easier to steal than a lot of food that takes up a lot of his relatively small arm span.
For sure. Give me an intuition check.
Okay.
It's gonna be challenging.
Warm Blood's so complex.
You're also trying to hide the fact that you're a skink, so it's gonna be like
True. I got a +2.
+2, cool. You do notice a couple of people walking around. You see that there's a guy seems to be wearing more of a red kind of like over cloak. The garment he's using below is a little puffy. It's black with some details in yellow. He has a very fluffy hat. It seems to be a little those hats, like the Lensschreiser hats that are a little deflated, kind of like a beret, but like a deflated beret.
Yes. I know the ridiculous headpiece of which you speak.
Yeah. You see, he has one of those like berets with like a very fucked up feather, like a feather that has seen some shit. And you see he's guiding some people towards what seems to be like a large house near the stockade. And he does have a pouch of what seems to be coins near his waist.
I would like to try and steal said pouch.
Right.
I do not have sleight of hand.
All right. So that's going to be a little harder. But that's going to be a sleight of hand uses agility or dexterity?
Dexterity.
Dex, yeah.
Dex. Then yeah. Make a.
Oh my god, my dex is so bad.
Okay, it's going to be things as they are right now. It's going to be a challenging dex test.
Okay.
Oh.
Which is going to be against a 28.
Oh,
If
wait a minute. I
one
got
of
an
the
idea
people-
I got an idea. I got a really stupid idea.
Flash him!
As
No.
I see- Well, that did cross my mind.
Somehow I
But-
knew it did.
I'm going to look at the guy that Tehetakai is attempting to steal from, hold my lizard in front of his face and just ask him, what does this thing eat?
Oh, jeez.
Make a charm roll for me, and as you do have the lizard, I'll allow it to be average.
Oh my god. Cute lizard.
Just do like a charm roll just to see if you like kind of catch his attention.
Oh, brutal.
How many fortune do I have left?
1. No, wait, 2. You have 2.
For the lizard.
For the lizard.
Oh, look at that.
Lizard.
Look at
Let's go.
So Tehetakai, you can make it average if you want to.
that.
As you
Yes.
push the lizard to his face, and he goes, I would not know, peasant. What is it? What is this?
It's just a lizard.
Oh,
yeah, +4.
Would you look at those scales? They look marvelous. Where did you find such a creature?
Oh, I was wandering about and it flopped onto my shoulder. I've been taking care of it ever since.
The wizard flopped. That is fabulous, my dear.
Yes, but do you know what it eats?
I have not the slightest idea, but I would wish to buy it from you if you would be willing to sell it.
No.
But that's rude, my dear.
Okay, bye. And just after I see Tehetakai run away, I'm just gonna walk away.
No, come back! And as you're
need that lizard!
running away, you do see a couple of people carrying some heads that seem to be on like animal heads. And Tehetakai, you do notice one of the heads is a very familiar lizardy head of a cold one.
Ooh, interesting. Okay.
And you see he as he screams, I need him for a collection! I am missing a spot right by the bathroom! No!
Immediately just start running as fast as I can.
Catch the woman with the cool lizard! It flopped!
Think of the riches I could make off this lizard.
Think of the party starters that could be existing with that thing on my wall!
It runs even faster.
Yeah. You run away.
After
it worked too well. There were consequences.
I did not expect the consequences of my actions.
Oh no.
As per the norm.
Tehetakai, you would find in this pocket 11 shillings.
Excellent. I will deposit them to the big lady. Big lady bank.
I look at it and I look at it. I don't know how to count this.
Tehetakai just sort of looks as like, use for food.
I look at the two guys and I just go, the priesthood never really taught us anything about bartering. People mostly just gave us things.
No. Ingvar kind of says, well, that sounds tough. Okay, why don't you give them to me and I'll see if I can buy something for us.
Okay. And I hand it over.
He picks up the coins, kind of counts them, gives a wild look to Igor, and puts them on his pocket.
Go get food. Return to staying place. Quick.
All right.
Yes.
Yes.
Sudden PTSD. Vietnam flashback.
This is going to be me doing some calculations on my head for food for everyone. Okay. All right. After a while, you guys go back to the shack, and Ingvar is carrying some amount of food on his hands. Like Ingvar and Igolf are carrying some food They put it on the ground on some like leather, like kind of like
A satchel?
not a satchel, but like just a sack that you put over your shoulder, you know.
Okay.
Kind of like a Santa Claus sack of presents, you know. And as they spray it on the ground, you see a lot of it is not familiar food. This is local food, so it is not going to be cheese and bread. It's mostly going to be dried different pieces of fish, and other types of sea creatures. Mostly, a lot of it is like coated in some kind of moss,
I do like
but
moss.
and yeah, a lot of it is just like very dry survival food that people are selling for cheaper.
I mean, how
And
that works.
he gives back 8 shillings for you.
Oh. Manfred.
He's not there.
Wait, what's your character's name? That I know.
That is the name, but he's not with you.
No, didn't we go back to the hut?
Yeah, you went back to the shack.
Oh, right.
So-
Sorry. I thought you were asking me to, like, haggle with this guy or something.
No.
Ah, okay. But yes, Egon / Manfred responds, yeah?
Here. And I toss you the sack of coins.
And he takes it and immediately counts it up and realizes, ooh, good haul.
That was a donation to Shalia.
Mm-hmm. Of course it was.
So make sure it's used for our
Kai!
survival.
Kai, take, not seen. Very stealth.
Mm-hmm. Egon
Ingvar
is busy counting.
Ingvar kind of like pats the guy on the shoulder and says, "You have very good teeth. If we had you in Salzamund, we would be very rich. That is a good job."
Not part of plan. No.
Well, that's a shame. All right.
Tetra gonna get something to eat.
Yeah, as you guys munch down in food, you do see the woman kind of like picks up some pieces of fish and munches on them, and she kind of directs it to all of you and says, oh, "All right, so the he points to Tatakai, said you guys came with the ships." Which ship? Where were you?
Well, we
We
were
were
on
on
the
Sil-
Silverfell.
What he said.
I'm not familiar with that, but I presume it's one of the other ships.
Was the food one, with all the people who are not very who are very new to their jobs.
Oh. They survived?
Yes,
Yup.
bless Shalia.
Well, impressive. That's good to know. Good to know.
Well, most of them.
That's less good, but still on the spectrum. All right. What did you so what's the plan? Is it just the lot of you, or are there more?
Nope, just us.
Well, I don't know if you knew because you are in the hill or whatever it's called, but the captain said that she came by and picked up some of the lads from the South Star and made it to the camp we're supposed to set up. Well, they were pretty messed up after their visit here.
Yeah. Oh, the Silverfell was that ship. I that was when I fled the fighting. I didn't see the fighting erupted. I just kind of fled. Didn't see anyone.
So they didn't keep you all in the same room.
Oh, we were being, and she swallows deeply a couple seconds. We were being paraded when the other ship, which now I know it's the Silverfell, came around. The fighting ensued. My tutor, she pushed me away into the mud, and I fled.
Oh, so you never actually went into the hill.
I went there for a while, but we weren't captured at that point.
Did they go and talk to the king?
She nods her head.
Are
How?
they
I'm assuming that didn't work so well.
No, it didn't.
are they still there?
As far as I know, they are. I
Egon looks
haven't
slightly smug.
Manfred,
been able to reach the place yet.
Manfred, I don't think talking with the king's gonna work.
I'm all open for other suggestions.
Or we go in, break them out, and then we get out of town.
I like this idea.
I too agree with this idea.
She nods, says, "If we could save them, that would be ideal."
That's the plan.
All right. So, I'm sorry. It's been a while. She rises a little, and you see she's not very tall. She removes the cloak, and she has a bit of tattered clothes, like beneath, and she makes some kind of like a curtsy, and says, "I am Lady Herta Denzo from Feldorf. It's a pleasure to meet all of you. I came with my tutor, Lady Elise Vassimheim from Feldorf. She is
Where's
one of the
that?
ones that were captured. It is in Wissenland.
Never been. Here it's miserable.
It's a good place if you know where to look."
Alright. Salomon, just how tricky is it to get up there?
I didn't see how tricky it was. The wizard brought us up. He had some kind of spell. We didn't go through the usual way.
Wait, wizard?
Yes, Mr. Javier.
Oh. Oh. Right. Phew. And here I thought. Wait. Doesn't he. Wait, does anyone here know, like, that one of them was a wizard, or were we just operating on
That
kind of ignorance?
one of the brothers was a wizard.
Yeah, I don't think
Tehetka knew.
any one of us knew.
Tehetka.
Ah,
He didn't really ever bring it up because he didn't see why he should. But
right.
he
This
knew.
is new information to Econ.
He He made a spell so that we enter the door and then we exited inside the king's hall, inside the king's hill.
Wait, what's stopping them from leaving then?
She shudders a little and she says, She cut his tongue.
Dead silence.
Ooh, yeah, Tetekai's gonna kind of hiss at that. Not
It was
good.
It was one of the first things she did when we were captured.
Berard's gonna look at Suleiman.
Silamon?
Silemon. Sea Lemon.
Silemon has been close to the wall, whispering to a rat.
I'm sure that rat has secrets.
Tetekai is giving him some pretty serious side eye at the moment.
Yeah. He's currently talking to a rat and hasn't been really paying attention.
Isn't that the only thing that the guy can do? Is side eye?
Shut up, you.
I didn't really think of this, but you are correct. Yes.
I won't stand for this
I've
kind of
always said
harassment.
Lizardman scamper.
Sea Lemon, how do you get up?
Huh?
How do you get up into the King's Hill?
You climb.
Or you can't just like open a door that goes straight in.
No, that is madness. Oh. Well, there is a spell for that. Yes, I don't have it, unfortunately. It's not within my college.
Berard just nods. Someone threw university language at him.
Tetekai's gonna kind of look around a little and then look more at Egon and say, then go to King, but Kai not go. Too dangerous for Kai.
Egon digs around in his pouch, sling bag, and he pulls out those 2 feathers. I wonder if these. Peas in the bowl said these were worth something. Well, in Skeki at least. I wonder what I can get for them.
You think by passage?
Who knows? I don't know if it buys an audience with the king, but hey, I might be able to haggle it down. Here's what I'm thinking. Even if Silamon and myself were to make it in front of the King of Skegi, could the rest of you get the Kohlers and the others out?
Will they be able to climb? I don't imagine they've been very nice to them.
I mean, it's either that or get sacrificed on the boat. They'd better climb for their lives.
You see the woman, Herta. You see Herta speaks up and says, well, even if we got inside, we would have to deal with the Yarvat, the King's Guard.
I'm sure Tehetekai can take like 2 of them.
He kind of like looks in your direction and says, Tetekai not going in there.
Oh no, not the King's Hall, just wherever the Kohlers are being kept.
Oh, yes. Tetekai, that do.
So,
Are there a lot of them? These King's Guards.
There's a good number of them. Most of them are in the King's Hall. Some of them are patrolling beside the King's Hill, and some of them are infiltrated inside the city.
How do you get past all those traps? Oh, you were outside being paraded. My apologies.
Yeah, I have no idea. And Silliman says, "Help! You dodged them. They come to you right fast. You just gotta dodge to the side, and then you go beyond, and then you hop." And then he starts doing some rumbling noises.
Have you considered not setting off the traps?
Oh, what do you think I am, a wizard? Oh,
yes.
oh yeah. Could be a good idea. I haven't been able to do that, but yeah.
What do you think I am? A good wizard? Cries into pillow.
If I had my grimoire, I would be able to do something and get us inside, but I don't have it anymore.
Oh, so they ate it.
Yeah, they ate it. It was also made of rats.
The grimoire?
Gross.
No, the guy who ate my grimoire, he was made of rats. It was a person made of rats. It was just like a I don't know actually. I don't remember very well, but I am pretty sure it was a person made of rats.
And you're still friends with rats after that?
I can't judge all rats because of one entity made of rats.
Oh, I can.
Tetekai acknowledges the wisdom of Berard.
Well, that's on you.
Alright. I think the plan is coming together nicely. We head on up, split up before we hit the King's Hall directly. Berard and Solomon can try and get us through the traps, and me and then while I'm busy talking to the king, everyone else breaks the colors out. I see no problems with this.
Tetekai will do this plan.
I will accompany you to the Queen, as I can't really do much when it comes to, well, breaking people out.
They might not be in the best health.
What if Ashling wait somewhere we bring them? Then heal.
It's not a bad idea.
Eagolf and Ingvar can wait with you, just in case.
That should work.
What you do if King angry?
I don't know. I got a wizard with me, I think. Double checks to see if Solomon is still there.
You're speaking with another rat, distinctly different from the first one.
I mean, he was gonna try to become the new whatever it's called when you're the advisor to a king and you're a wizard.
Is that an advisor?
Oh, it's just advisor. Don't they have a fancy title? He will look towards Lady Herta.
In Feldorf, we don't really have courtly wizards, but it would be a courtly wizard probably, or an advisor.
All did.
Could have swore they had some fancy name for it.
They might have in another lands. We don't have a lot of wizards in Vesselland.
Tetekai's gonna kind of say, turn his attention to the what's her name? Hertza?
Herta.
Herta, there we go. Herta know where they kept?
I'm not sure, but I remember how the King's Hall is, but I don't know where they're being kept.
Can't be that many rooms in there. Gotta find them eventually.
You come with or stay here?
I am not of much help, but if I could follow you, I would.
Stay with Ashling. She will be she'll be the safest out of all of us.
I must ask, however, whenever we do that, what do we do afterwards?
Well, we leave.
Straight into the jungle.
All of the Jakars in the city are loyal to the king. They're going to be looking after us very quickly.
Well, then we better leave as soon as we can.
What if
Wasn't
we took
there-
the boat?
Well, what boat?
The galleon.
Do we have the hands for that?
If break
Well-
out others, yes?
I am not sure who was captured. We were carrying a bunch of miners as well. They were survivors from the other ship. But there is enough people in where they're keeping the thralls that they may be able to helm the ship. It'll be hard, but
I mean, we could set as many free as we can, and in the confusion, storm the boat.
Both
could do it
sound
in a-
like good plan.
We're taking the rowboat with. Egon seems strangely set on that.
You're getting your 2 weeks out of it.
I am getting my damn 2 weeks. I paid good gold for that. And then I'm sending it back after 2 weeks.
Herta says, pipes up and says, "Look, the way I have been giving this a lot of thought for a while. We could wait until they try and sacrifice them, and then we use that opportunity to do something and get the ship, because the sacrifice is going to happen at the ship.
Won't there be many guard?
Well, yes, but the King's Hill is also going to be crawling with guards. It's going to be
How many-
sneakier, but
Hmm.
How many
Maybe-
guards are you talking?
I have no idea. But it is the personal protection of the guards against the whole city, so
Could 3 slaves right at the ritual cause panic? Take advantage, take ship.
it's going to take a lot to rile them to actually do something. But if we could rile them up, they would fight. I don't know if they would fight for us, but they would fight.
Do you know how long it is till this ritual opens?
I have no idea. It's a gamble. I was going to do that myself whenever the ritual was going to happen. I was going to sneak inside. Probably was going to die in the process, but I was going to try. If we do it in any other day, possibly even today, we're going to have the element of surprise. If we do it at the ship, there's going to be more people. Possibly all of the slaves are going to be nearby. The king is probably going to make an example of them. Not the slaves, but the 9, including my tutor and the Kohler brothers.
Well,
Or we
We're
could try
gonna-
something else. Those are the ideas that I had. I was thinking about this a couple of days. Sorry, I interrupted you.
I'm just worried about the overall health of those that are captured. If they are too weak to fight, they will die far too quickly.
If meant to be sacrifice, at least kept alive. Yes.
Alive and in good health are two very different things.
No, but then they're at least gonna be on the ship. We just need to free the ship and then get out. If we free them on the King's Hill, we're gonna have to carry everyone. Or at least the ones that are too wounded to walk.
Datic, I think. Stop the ritual. Best plan.
I was
I fully agree with stopping the ritual.
AFK. When's the ritual?
We don't know.
No.
Okay.
Won't be surprised, though. Want
Hey
great.
there. Talking to the rats. When is the ritual?
Let me do a check for Solomon, actually.
I mean, the rats might have told him when it happens.
That's my hope.
Okay. Let me just do some calculations here. Solomon grabs a rat and puts the rat inside his ear and goes, He did what? Worrisome. You should kill him. And he puts the rat down and says, probably in a week. 7 days from now, I think.
Daticai's gonna just kind of stare at him for a moment. And he's just gonna simply say out loud, Daticai, no like you talking to rats.
You have a problem with rats?
Yes. They spread
Why?
diseases.
They also spread love.
What?
Have you thought about that?
Daticai he quirks his head because the counter that this man is making makes absolutely zero sense to Daticai. And he's just gonna simply state, small rodents fine, but dangerous, diseased, agents of worse.
Oh, you're thinking of those rats. No, I don't talk with those. They are very rude.
Wait, those
Also, they
rats?
have an accent. It's hard to understand them.
Anyways, so are we breaking them out of the little fort on a hill we have to climb? Or are we going to wait for them to bring them down and then distract them and free all the thralls and try to take a ship?
Tetic, I think we cause distraction with slaves, then take boat and flee.
Manfred, you're stevedore. You know about getting ships loaded and everything. How long does it take to prepare a boat to leave?
Manfred pretends to think for a moment because he's not actually that, and that's just his disguise. And he says to himself, hoping that nobody else can call him on his bullshit. Depends on the state of the ship. If
Victor, let the cat in the room. I can hear the scratching.
scratching at
Let
the door.
me in!
Come here, cat. Hi.
Meow.
Hi, Koval. Come here. There's no dice to get in here, so have at it. Alright. Cat is inside. Oh, he's clearing on me. Get down. Alright. There we go. Manfred, quote unquote, thinks for a moment and says, Depends on the state of the ship. If any of the cargo got loose, then that all may have to get retied down. Maybe, I don't know, half an hour? If we're lucky and we get all hands.
Alright, and what if we're not lucky, because that's what's going to happen?
Well, in that case, we're pretty much just going to have to cast off with no preparations made. Which could mean a number of things. For instance, if the powder stores have been improperly taken care of, the ship might just blow up.
Well, surely they'd take care of it. They wanted to keep using it.
The Norskins? I don't even know if they know how to use it.
Barad will look worried.
For instance, if the little dividing fabric has gone dry between the powder store and everything else, there's a chance that a spark might fly and set the whole thing ablaze. Egon is, well, mostly drawing on his experience of just wandering the Silverfell and asking endless amounts of questions about the boat and how it works and all the various decks that you could go up and down. And also, it was very easy to get a lot of sailors talking when he was out dealing cards.
So, spend time scouting, yes. Prepare for plan.
If you can get me on that boat, well, preferably not just me. We need to see how many people, jackers, are on that big boat, if they're guarding it at all.
Probably gonna be a couple of people from the King's Guard inside. That's a Herta talking about that. They're gonna be, but not a lot of them. People don't know how to make a galleon work, and it has been claimed as the king's property, so the Jackars are keeping a safe distance from them.
In that case, you might just be able to do it.
It's gonna be a tough fight if they find you.
I've
If
killed worse.
If you can stay hidden, probably gonna be a easier fight.
So, if ritual in week, take time, prepare now. Yes.
Yes.
What boat does the King's Guard have? Because it might be a good idea to make sure they can't sail right after us with their fancy ship that goes fast.
Find way to break, yes.
Well, if all it needs is just a spark, he'll look at Manfred and it blows up.
I mean, I would love to know if the powder stores are still full, or if they've been emptied. Who knows? Maybe the Norskins emptied it out and sold it all.
I mean, it's 100 cannons.
Do you know how much powder you can sell for that? It's a lot.
Sorry, just clearing my throat, not interrupting.
The King's Guard don't really have much of a ship. The king has a ship. I don't know what it's called, but it is closer to the king's hall. It's kept inside the king's hold, actually. They take it out whenever she needs to do any warring. Has been a while since she does that, from what I hear.
How do they capture the boat in the first place?
How do they capture the boat?
Yeah, it's got 100 cannons.
We were not expecting the fighting. We were outside the ship when we were captured, and the ship fought for a while, but they surrendered afterwards.
So
There's
you're saying none of you are on the boat, and that means there might be thralls who know how to shoot the cannons.
There might be some of the individuals that were on the boat were captured and turned into trolls. Many
Today,
of them died, but some of them.
we should check for useful slaves. Yes. Use this day for that.
Yeah, we could keep we could keep it organized until the day at least. Talk to the trolls and make sure that they're ready for whenever we set the signal or something. I have never had to organize a rebellion. I'm not sure how that works, but it could be good to already be talking to the trolls beforehand. If we have to convince them on the spot, it might be harder to speak, especially because I don't think all of them speak our language.
I can handle that. Well, if Ingar and Egolf can help me.
They nod to you.
Well, I mean, it would be nice to sail back to the site. I don't think I'd could hunt enough on through the forest to get us all back without starving.
This is probably the reason why I want to see the state of the ship before we do anything. The more, if I see what it looks like, we can prepare easier.
The
Hey.
king doesn't have a ship, but they do have a sea guard. The Dodvacht, I think it's called. They are responsible for keeping the Skeggy protected from threats to the sea. They have around 5, I think they're called wolf ships.
Hey, Ingvar, what does that word mean?
Ingvar kind of like thinks for a second and says, Sea Guard is close enough.
No. The Dödvacht.
Dodvacht would be called the Death Keeper.
Actually, Dead Watch.
Look, the Lustria book says Death Keepers. You don't.
Yeah, well,
You don't
the Lustria book isn't an Icelander.
Yeah, it would be.
Oh, there aren't Icelanders in Warhammer. This is
Yeah, there is.
specific. Nope.
Yeah.
It's Norskins.
No. Norskins speak Icelandic. This is confirmed.
That actually is.
You mean
not in my game.
they did all the funky roundabout things for Reichsspiel and be like, no, it's not German. It's just has some similarities with German. If they went like, oh no, we're going to do Norskan as Icelandic. It's 1-to-1,
Trust me.
maybe.
No. It is it is pretty much, there are Icelandic words there.
That's fascinating, but in game, the translation is Death Keepers.
Bah, I say.
What would be the
Your complaint is
translation for
noted.
Death Keeper?
In Icelandic?
Yeah.
Dagvacht.
Dauðaverðir. Dauðavaktin.
Yeah. Huh. Neat.
That being said, I don't know what they're called, the Death Keepers, but I do know that they are responsible for protecting the sea. Those ships might be interesting to sabotage before we leave, but there's a possibility that some of them are already on the sea. They patrol the nearby coast of Skeggy. That's how we find Skeggy too. We found Skeggy because one of the wolf ships found us. They guided us to Skeggy.
Wasn't there a lot of like gangs around that fight with the king?
The Jakars, yes.
What do they fight over?
Anything that the king fight over, anything that belongs to another person is a reason for the Jakars to fight. I don't really understand them very well, but I have been dealing with them. That's how I stayed alive. I had a couple of silver shillings that I kept in my purse. I was able to bribe one of them, for a while at least. I don't think they would be very useful, at least the Jakars that I knew. But I don't know how well the king has a grasp on the city. Usually the guards are... Well, usually the people in the city, the military of the city, are loyal to a king, or an emperor in our case, or any other governor. Here in Skeggy it might be different, but I have no idea. I don't understand what they speak of. I can't
Okay.
understand Norse.
I'd heard that they each have their own territory, and then the Jakar, as you call them, they're all selected from those men loyal to that gang in that territory. We could spread some rumors about them having a bunch of fancy stuff up at the King's Hill. And with all the people coming off for the big ritual, some of them might want to, say, sneak in and take a look at getting it.
If there is anyone in the Jakars that is strongly against the king, we could organize a coup as well.
Good work. Warm blood's always greedy.
And Ingvar kind of nods and sighs and says, I can try grabbing some information if you want to. It's gonna be a pain, but I can.
Quinto, can you get me on that boat?
Can you swim?
No. I was
Then
mostly thinking of using the rowboat.
can get you on, yes.
All right. Tehetakai and I will be going tonight. I want to see what's on that boat.
All right. And what else do you want us to do?
Ingvar, Egolf, for today, you two will be joining me. We're gonna go see what the thralls are up to. Well, we'll inform them of the coming opportunity. I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm gonna head out, see what I can do.
All right, that sounds reasonable. I'll probably go gather more herbs while we wait. Herbs. Herbs?
Herbs.
Herbs. Herbs.
Herbs.
Mm-hmm.
We're adults.
We make adult money.
Clearly. You see that Herta kind of nods her head and says, okay, I'm probably not going to be of much use talking to them, but I can accompany you, or I can do something else if you want to.
Don't you want to lay low for a while? Aren't people looking for you?
Well, they are. Look, my tutor is there. Though it is dangerous for me to be outside, if anything gets me closer to releasing her, then that's better for me. But if you think it's safer for me to stay low, I will comply.
Do a lot of the sailors, would they recognize you?
Some of them might. Yeah.
I didn't know if you were hidden away most of the journey. It might be easier convincing them that something might happen if someone who already escaped was there to talk with them.
Yeah, if you think that's good, I'm not very confident with that, but if you think that's a good idea, then yeah, I'll do it.
Oh, I think it's a terrible idea. I just think it's an option.
That's not very. Anyway, that's yeah. No, I yeah, that's all right. Yeah, I'll leave the decision to you. I don't know. I'm very tired, and if it makes us closer to getting out of here, then I'll help. But if I'm going to be a hassle for all of you, then I would rather stay hidden for a while. I have money to pay for accommodation here, and among the Telians and the Estalians, maybe I won't be as in danger as before.
All right. Ingvar, Ingolf, come with me. We're heading out.
It's gonna be Igor, Fingvar, and Manfred.
All right.
All right.
Yeah,
We have a
I'm
nice-
staying back
we have
now.
we have a nice little club.
All right. Staying in the stockade, Tahatakar?
For the
Oh
moment.
wait, Tahetekai, can you actually accompany me in getting more food?
Yeah, that's fine.
Heck yeah.
Okay.
Forge and steel
Does-
crew. Let's go.
Oh boy.
So
All right.
I'm gonna say probably here on the port.
The great plan says sticky fingers are okay.
Uh,
On the
What
Great
about-
One says there shall be a 5-finger discounts, and they shall be many.
Excuse you, 4-finger discounts?
No, 5. You
excuse
found
you?
a finger on the ground.
Congratulations, you just started like a inter-Temple City rivalry between 5 and 4 fingers, and now they're gonna have to argue about it for like 100 years.
The Warbloods were meant to steal, not us. It is beneath us. No, it is we
No.
who must steal.
We must steal for the greater plan, for the great plan. All right.
We stole the great plan.
No.
The discussion is going to be for at least 500 years until finally Aslan wakes up, punches them in the face, and goes back to sleep.
There you go. All right. So, Egon has a mission to take care of, and that is, he wants to find where all the newest. Oh,
There
we
was a
lost
bot.
we lost the bot. Egon wants to see if he can find where all the newest slaves / thralls are being kept.
Okay. Just to ask before we do that, what is Berard going to be doing?
Oh yeah.
Berard's going to go outside and start foraging for parts to make traps.
Okay. You're probably gonna meet up with Peas in a Bowl very shortly, so we're gonna do a scene between the both of you soon.
All right.
So let's deal with Manfred first.
All right. So,
yeah.
Where be the latest captures?
So as you go towards the place, you see that there is a very tall fence that is essentially a bunch of different spikes very close together that separates the land from the city, from basically this little spit out from Skaggy to the sea. It's hard to traverse because people are on the lookout here for escaping thralls. You probably could very quickly dip into the water and then into Kajanes, but it is going to be a little hard to go back because there's very little that proves you are a free person and not a slave.
Is there no, like, quote-unquote official way of getting past that fence?
There's a small boat that gets inside There's a small rowboat that is used to lead people inside and then go back.
Well, I'm gonna approach the rowboat with my 2 companions. Is there anyone guarding the rowboat?
There's not anyone guarding the rowboat per se. There's just a bunch of people around to catch any runaway slaves. People don't really mind if you get inside the boat. I'm just saying that probably when you get back, there's going to be questions.
Well, I will have answers. So the 3 of us will get into the rowboat, and we'll take it the tiniest little way onto the promontory, which is the name of this place is Chain Promontory. If anyone is interested to know.
You jump into the boat. It's kind of hard because of the waves. This is a very difficult place to navigate too close to the shore. But the rowboat is able to make the journey, especially with Egulf and Ingvar as long as you can make it no problem.
Heck yeah.
As you go closer, you see that this place is a bunch of small tents. Very improvised tents, a lot of them made from cloves. So you see like tents sewn together to make a little tent for people. There's a small civilization here that is very desperate and destitute. Most of them are trying to fish things out of the sea, including dead individuals that have fallen into the sea. You see a lot of like fishing rods and fishing lines, very improvised. Made from like the threads from people's cloaks and the very little clothing they had. You recognize a couple of faces as like Reichlandish, although most of them seem to have a Norse complexion, a Norscan complexion. Doesn't have an area for like newer arrivals. But you do notice that there's a larger house that is very close to the sea. It's the little house you can see right at the edge to the south there. That's kind of like it has the same structure as like a longhouse, kind of like a very stereotypical Viking longhouse. It is very destroyed and like wrecked by time. But it is still standing, and you see that is where most people are. You think that's kind of like a communal kitchen.
In that case, that is the perfect place to go, since that's where people must be gathering most of the time. All right, we head on down to here. Oh wait, I can't move those 2. Right.
Yeah, I'll move them.
Whoop, there we go. All right, we head into the makeshift kitchen thing.
As you get inside, most of the construction is dilapidated, so a lot of the smoke that is produced doesn't have a good way out. So it just kind of like accumulates near the roof and then just billows out from the sides. So inside it is a very smoky and has a very distinct smell of like burned flesh and fish.
Blech.
Especially like fish fat and like fish oil.
As much as I in person love those smells, I'm gonna assume Egon does not.
I don't think he would enjoy the horrible thing that they have been doing with fish here for years.
My guy, doing horrible things to fish is the Icelandic way.
That's fair.
It
That's
really
fair.
is.
That's fair.
They have fermented shark.
Yeah.
That is delicious, but people are handling dead bodies
No,
and
it
fish here
isn't.
at the same time.
I love it.
That does sound delicious, but they people are like, what I'm talking about is mostly like people dealing with dead people and like maggots and fish at the same time.
Okay. The corpses throw a little wrench in there.
Yeah, because like people, again, this is not a more civilized place than the rest of Skeggy. These are recently captured slaves that are fighting for their life. There is a small sense of community here, of like people helping each other and cooking for each other, but it is by no means a safe place. And there are several dead bodies and signs of violence everywhere as you go.
Well, all right. I turn to Ingvar and I tell him, I'm going to have to ask you to translate what I'm going to say.
Ingvar nods his head and says, "Oh, okay. Just say the word."
Is it mostly men, or like men with some women mixed in, or even
About
even
50-50.
close to 50? Okay, well, that small steps, I guess. Egon raises his voice and says, "Men and women of Skeggy." Let's Ingvar translate.
Yeah. Now you can presume as you're talking that Ingvar is translating right after.
Fair enough. Like Egon like does stop like periodically in between to let Ingvar translate what he's saying, and so he can. So we're not talking over each other. And he says, "Men and women of Skeggy, I bring news of a possible escape. In about a week's time, the king of Skeggy will host a great sacrifice, or at least so I've heard. When this happens, a mad rush will be made on the ship. Crap. What's his name again? The South Star.
Yes,
South
the
Star.
South Star.
Ah, right. Is it? We've seen it, right? Like it's like the biggest ship in the harbor, right?
Yeah, you could see from your point of view currently.
Oh, perfect. In that case, I just he adds the biggest ship in the harbor, and we will need all the hands possible in order to make good on our escape. So, when the time comes and the signal is given, I need to know if you will follow. And he sort of trails on that one. He is no great orator or giver of speeches.
As you're doing that, you see that people, as you start talking loudly, people shiver and kind of like dodge out of the way, because all of you are well dressed as much as you can be, and you are armed as you enter. So, and especially by your complexity, it's difficult to separate you from a lot of the Norskans that live here, because a lot of them are like second generation Norskans. A lot of people have grown here, have like been born here from ex-slaves from the Empire and things like that. There's a lot of mixture from people here. And as you raise your voice, a lot of people kind of like shiver and dodge out of the way. But as you speak, you see that people start coming to you, recognizing Reichspiel, and also a lot of people are also looking towards you, understanding the Norse.
So I'm fairly easily able to like distinguish who is understanding me and who is understanding Ingvar.
Yeah. Because you can notice that the people that are understanding you are looking towards you. The people that are understanding Ingvar are looking to Ingvar. So you can kind of see
perfect.
where they're looking at, and it makes like you can see the difference between them.
A weird little dividing line. Perfect.
Yeah.
In that case,
you can also
do I
notice
notice?
People,
oh, go ahead.
Just so sorry, I just forgot to say it. You also notice a number of people who are looking towards both of you and are not understanding shit.
Oh boy, I don't know any other languages, so I'm just gonna have to hope that some of the anyone is able to like start translating for everybody else, and I can't help with anything else. I don't think Ingvar knows anything else language-wise.
Mhm.
So yeah, in that case, do I notice in the Reichspiel section of the group, do I notice any sailor-looking types, for lack of a better descriptor?
Give me intuition check.
That sounds about right.
Make it average.
All right. Where is
Mostly
my
because you're
intuition?
speaking up, so you can kind of like see people who are recognizing you. That makes it easier to pick them from the crowd.
You know what? I haven't fortune pointed, so let's see what we get. Hey, look at that.
Very nice.
Very nice indeed.
There it is. Okay. Make a favor. Do me a favor, sorry. Make a
Oh,
favor doesn't make sense. Do me a favor. Sorry. Roll 3d10.
3d10 A. Oh, damn. That is a boop. That was a wild roll.
From the people you can pick out that are here and haven't been sold yet. So, because these trolls have been here for a while, they have been traded. So, some of them, not everyone that is here, were the people that came here. Like some of the people that were captured in the South Star were already sold. So these are, so you see about 13 people that have, you can say with relative certainty that they know how to operate a boat. Probably none of them would be able to operate like the whole boat. They don't have enough knowledge, but they know enough of their own positions to be able to do a lot by working there.
All right,
So
calling
just
out in Rex. Oh, go ahead.
Just to kind of explain, none of these people are like navigators. They are
No.
lowly seamen.
I'm about to do some digging on that front. Egon calls out and says, in the like vague direction where he sees like clumpings of sailors, and says, "Who here held the highest rank?"
Okay, I'm gonna say at this point, because you were speaking to them, make a leadership check.
Oh boy, challenging.
I liked your speech, so I'm gonna say average.
Hey.
But getting above is not just.
Oh jeez. Well,
No, there we go.
let's get rid of all them fortune points. No. No.
You have one remaining.
Yeah, I have one remaining, which gets me to a -0.
I mean, Zinch loves rebellions. He might help you out.
Yeah, no.
I'm gonna say if you spend your last fortune point, I am going to make a +0 out of that.
Ah, fair enough. In that case, wait, why can't I? Wait, why do I not get the option to do that?
Just
Weird.
do it in your first roll. Because then
Yeah, no, it doesn't. It doesn't. Wait, why is it? It's almost like it's assuming I don't have any fortune left. Wait, hold on. Yeah, I have one.
It might be that it, by default, assumes you can only choose one option for fortune.
I know that's not true.
It might be Foundry.
Yeah, it might be a Foundry weirdness. But yeah, I threw my last fortune away and I just spent it manually. There we go. Oop, and I'm out.
I'm going to ask you this. I'm sorry.
There we go.
Go ahead.
No, sorry, I was having sheet issues. Go ahead.
Yeah. I'm going to ask you this. What do you think would be the... You feel you're losing people. A lot of people here have lost hope or are like close to losing hope. And as you start talking, you catch their attention, but you see it drift. What would be the thing you say that just resonates with people? Because I'm kind of like, what is the role-playing side of the multiple fortune points you've dumped into this?
Right. Egon adds, when he notices this, he adds to his speech and says, "We are awaited further down the coast the rest of our companions, crewmates, fellow sailors across the great ocean are building a new settlement, which is ready and waiting for us by the time we get there.
You see a guy a guy that is kind of like to the back. He has a torn black cloak, kind of like a darkish gray, close to black cloak. And he rises as you say that, and he says, "Is everyone welcome there? If we help you."
Anyone who wishes to join can do so. Every hand is needed.
That's a suspicious individual.
No, don't worry. Egon has etiquette criminal. He knows what he's dealing with.
And you see there's another guy close to him. Actually, one of the people you didn't realize that were there. You see a dwarf.
What the?
And you see the dwarf kind of pipes up and says, "Anyone, manling."
Anyone indeed. If you have the will and the hands, well, probably don't even need the hands, just a warm body, and you will be welcomed. Holy crap, Egon is like single-handedly like creating the criminal underbelly of the settlement. This is great.
You see they kind of rise and look at each other, and you see that there's a bunch of people. There seems to be another group here. As you see, they're a little separate from the others. You see there's this tall guy with this darkish cloak. You see close to him a dwarf that seems to have 3 mustaches, one to the side, like one beneath the other. It's like a long beard fashioned after like 3 mustaches.
Damn. Fancy.
You see what seems to be a woman, a little bit of a shorter woman with a nasty scar on the side of her face. And you see a guy with the worst haircut, which is a bowl cut. He has a very linear bowl cut that goes like above his eyebrows and then goes down and then finishes like a circle behind his head.
All right, GM to GM, did you take these art from Middenheim?
Nope.
Ah, damn it! I thought I had it.
A more recent book.
Damn it! All right, never mind. I thought I had their descriptions in my brain, but never mind. All right, moving on. So Egon very much nods to all of them and says, "Anyone and everyone that wishes to come is more than welcome."
And you see the people around start getting a little bit more rowdy, and you see some people talking amongst each other in Norse and some talking in Reichspiel. As people are starting to get a little, kind of like some of them are suspicious because the selection of people not necessarily would pass as non-Norscan. You speak a Reichspiel without accent, so that like counts a lot to your side. But a lot of people are still very like they don't know if it's a trap, if this is a test, if this is a way for them to be out of being a troll, or this is the certainty of being a troll for their whole life. And after a while of people talking amongst each other, some of them do rise and nod their heads and says, "Okay, we're with you. What's the plan?"
It's quite simple, actually. As when the ritual has been disrupted, all of you, and he sort of makes the gesture, like wide gesture to everyone on the promontory, says, all of you will make a mad dash towards the boat, hopefully picking up stray captures. Egon is very very not okay with using either slave or thrall, and says, hopefully dragging up as many as we can, and once we swarm the galleon, we set sail to Kleinvin. Kleinvin? I forget how to pronounce it.
None of them have heard the word before, so they all kind of agree.
Fair. Oh, nobody's gonna countermand him. It's just he forgets.
One of the guys, the guy on dark cloak, he says, "All right, we can organize. Some of us do speak Estalian and Tillian. We can start spreading the word with other people and see that everyone
Good.
is ready."
That's exactly what I needed.
All right. We just have a request from you.
Sure. Depends on what the request is.
Are you planning to save all of the 9 that were captured?
Yes.
Okay. We would like to make sure that one of them is safe before we leave.
Which one?
They kind of look at each other and say, I think it's best for you not to know, but he is a peculiar individual.
Do you
And
want me or do you not want me to find out if they're safe?
fine. It's Are you from around Reichland? Hope not.
I'm from up north.
And you probably haven't heard of him. He is a knight. We are bound to him by oath. We were not in the ship. We were already in Skeggy.
All right, tell me what he looks like. I'll find him.
He has a very large mustache and a gray beard that has almost looks like a shield going down his chin. He is bald and he should not have one of his arms. Unless he does, but it's probably going to be a prosthetic.
Ah, I got it. It's the Lord Abin something. He's from Archives 3, the last chapter.
You don't know that.
The player does.
You know that.
I like the
Oh,
way you
I'm
said
on
that.
to you now.
Quiet you.
As soon as you told me about him, nailed it.
He challenged the king for a duel when they were paraded as prisoners,
I take it that went poorly.
as it usually does. But we were captured before we could help him.
Fine. In that case, I'll find out where they are.
As long as he can be made safe, then we are also bound to you by oath. And
All
you
right.
see the dwarf kind of looks up and says, Bentley, don't include me in this.
I'll figure out if he's safe or alive, or both. I have a specialist that can help with that.
You see the dwarf kind of pulls and says, look, to be very clear, this is no oath. I'm not doing any oath. I have done one, and I've regretted it my whole life. No oath. And you see the taller guy with the black coat. He says, no worries. This is just a way of speaking. A human way of speaking. But, yes. As soon as you can make sure that he's alive, then we will help you get alongside. We'll get you help. We'll help you get wherever you need to go.
Good. All right. I have to go back to my fellows. I need to see what they've been up to, and from there, I'll be able to make next moves. But I'll see if I can find this knight of yours.
We'll speak with the other Trolls, see if they are on board with this. I can't guarantee that most of them will be. They're mostly scared of this whole thing, but I'll see what I can do.
All right. And with that, Egon gives a muted farewell, and he takes Ingvar and Egolf and heads back towards the fence.
Well done.
Which has that rowboat in it and those questions.
All right. As you're leaving, the most likely way for you to get out of there without causing any problems is going to be an intimidate check. It's going to be basically asserting yourself as a free man, so the other Jakars don't have a problem with you going around. If you want to do any other check, you let me know, and we can do something. Could be like a melee to just like punch someone in the face, just to make a clear path. People don't have a good alliance between each other, so if you punch a guy, the other ones are probably not going to be much. Don't really going to give a shit. Just going to be like asserting dominance as you leave. So what's going to be your main way to make sure no one messes with you as you leave this place?
Wait, so this is this just us just squeezing through the spikes, or is this taking the rowboat
Taking
back?
the rowboat.
Taking the rowboat back. All right. Who's the first individuals to walk up and challenge us leaving? Just some Norscan dude?
You see a couple of Norscan dudes. They are like shirtless with kind of like the chainmail tied, almost like a skirt. And some of them have like broken and hold up shields with some improvised axes and clubs.
Sounds like Viking practice.
It does sound like Viking practice.
Kind of, yeah. And as you leave, you see that a lot of them kind of look at each other, because this is something Ingvar explains to you, so you don't need to roll. This is not them doubting you're a freeman. This is them using this as an excuse to turn you into a troll.
Ah, right. So as
this is
soon
kind of like they feel good if they club you over the head and throw you back, and that's gonna be like, oh, they're trolls now, they're fine. Then they can sell you for stuff. So that's gonna be like asserting yourself as a freeman.
So here's what I'm going to attempt. As soon as somebody is within like spitting distance and approaching, with intent, Egon merely says, Egolf, deck him.
Roll me a leadership check.
All right.
Average.
Boop. Hey, look at that.
Nicely done.
As you say that, both Ingvar and Egolf kind of like open to the sides. Egolf just fully decks a guy in the face, and Ingvar trips the other and punches him on the ground with a stone.
Jesus, all right.
And he kind of like trips the guy, lets him fall on the ground, gets on top of him, grabs like a rock from the shore, and decks him over the head with the rock.
And Egon, just for emphasis, draws his machete out, pointing it at anyone else who wants to have a go.
Yeah, this is followed by Ingvar also drawing a short blade and Egolf rolling the giant two-handed pickaxe he has.
Mm-hmm.
Which the other guys start stepping back. And
you see, children, this is what we call a statement of intent.
Ingvar kind of whispers to you, do you want me to translate that to you, boss?
No, I think we're good. I think they get the message.
You see, as Ingvar is going, he kind of takes a step forward to almost like charging a guy for like a second before stopping himself, and the guy jumps back. He gives you a smile and says, "Yeah, I think they got that."
All right. Sheaths machete. We head back, and we head back towards our little safe house.
All right.
All right, that's Egon done.
So we're gonna have Berard, just because we did some small scenes with Tehetekai and Ashling, so I'm gonna leave you guys last. Berard, after a couple of hours, as you're looking around the Eureka, you see peas in a bowl, kind of like approaching, and he says, "What? Berard, was it?"
That's right. How are you doing, peas in a bowl?
Well, horribly. My ass hurts when I pee. It is a very distinguished problem to have.
Well, you know, you should bring that up with Ashling.
You know, I'm not gonna say in front of her, but that woman scares me.
I mean, what's the worst she's gonna do? Dance and chant Shalia at you?
Yeah, you might be right. I'm still scared. Anyway, you asked for some information yesterday, and I got it for you.
Did you find anyone?
Well, I found a couple of people actually. Here in the Eureka, there's a Tillian fellow who does work with crossbows and boats. He might be able to get something in the relationship of a bow. He works for the mercenaries here. A free man, as much as they come.
All right. Anyone else? Someone who knows bows a bit better than a crossbow.
On the foreign town, there's a Telebaklan friend. I didn't really get his name, but he's an older folk. He's known for the people there. He makes a lot of arrows and bows for the people. He's a bit of a crazy guy, though. If you're looking for something more traditional, the Tillian folk might be able to get to you. Mercenary folk are very exact on their designs. This Telebaklan guy he's odd. That's all I can say.
Like he's making it out of bone or odd, or he thinks a bow should have 8 ports.
He has a running theory that if you put many bows together and make a hole in the center and shoot with like multiple strings, that makes the bow better.
Sounds like heresy to me.
Nobody could really use his bow, but it was very odd. He once made one that was around 3 meters high, too. He's very talented. He's just weird. He might be able to make a bow for you, like a common bow, but he might also be completely insane and make you something out of the ordinary. So, just heads up.
All right. Anyone other than those two?
Well, it's a little uncomfortable, but there is a usual guy that works in the merchant district. I'm sorry, not the merchant district, the explorer district. It's close to the docks. But his work is outsourced, if you get my meaning.
I don't. What's outsource mean?
Right. I was unsure. He has a lot of slaves. He himself doesn't do a lot of the work. The slaves that he hires, quote unquote, do a lot of the work. He has a big workshop in the Explorer District. He's the cheapest, but it always makes me shiver a little entering his shop. Also, he's a Norscan, so he's not the most pious.
Oh, of course not. Have you ever heard of a pious Norscan?
Yes, her name is Erda.
Only in jokes.
Well, the Explorers District, you say, is that by the docks? He will point to the east and the west side of the docks.
He points to the east.
Berard's going to take a glance and just kind of, what thumbs or tongue sticking out, like eye the coastline from Kedja to the docks and then to the galleon. I think it might be a good idea to see where this gentleman's shop is. You say outsource, does that mean he keeps slaves outside Skeggy?
No, that means. Yeah, I should be more clear. It means that he himself doesn't know how to do both. He buys slaves that know how to do both.
All right.
So he himself doesn't know how to do it, but he buys people that can do it for him.
Will they make good bows?
It's a line of production, nothing out of the ordinary. They're good enough.
What's a line of production? Is that like food? Like food all stretched in a line?
It's the difference between a master at their craft and all of the children of a family working together to do something. It's like a master of their craft is very good. They do it all by themselves, and they have been doing this for like dozens of years. They learned it from their master or their father. That's a master craft. That is something that is someone that is an artisan in that. A line of production is when each person does a little bit from on side to side and doesn't make anything that is like extraordinary, because there's not that attention to detail that like a master craftsman would have. It's just like each person does a little bit and then it ends up being finished.
All right. Well, why don't you show me where this outsourcer's shop is? I don't think I'll go to him, but I might want to know where he is in case the, as you said, crazy gentleman doesn't seem like the kind of sort who I'd be comfortable getting a bow from.
Understandable. Yeah, I'll show you what it is. He guides you towards the place, and he, as you enter, it's very similar to the place that was doing the rowboats. It's basically a bunch of people chained to their workstations. There's a heavy coating of like wood dust covering most of the people here as well as the furniture. Although the only difference is that on the front there is a small wooden table that has two guards on, like one guard on each side, that has a little stand where there are some bowls. You see, they seem to be, in regards to category, they're not like long bowls. They're more to like a hunting ground bow. They're shorter, so like, I don't really know the sizes of bows in real life, but it is not like a long bow for like an English long bow or things like that. It's a little shorter, something that can be used on horseback, but also can be used in on the ground. Very standard work.
All right, so a short bow in terms of the game terminology.
Yeah, it would be.
Berard will step up and ask, "How much are one of those?" And he'll point to the bows laid out.
You see, he looks towards you and kind of like squints his eyes, and he grabs a whip and whips one of the slaves that are on the back of the workshop and like screams something at him, and he comes like very very meek and very weak, and he the guy asks you to repeat yourself.
How much are the bows for one of them?
The slave kind of nods his head and then translates to the shopkeeper, and the shopkeeper barks something, and the slave goes, "For this, it would be three gold coins."
Mind if I take a look at it?
He translates, and the guy he laughs, looks at the guards that are each side of the table, and kind of like waves his hand. And the slave translates it. Go ahead.
All right. Bird's going to pick it up. He does have some knowledge of bows and how to use them, and he's just going to... Does it seem like it's made well enough? Or is this the kind of thing that's going to fall apart if I mess up a roll?
I'm going to say you can roll either evaluate or ranged bow, just for like information. Not
I'll
gonna be an
use
attack,
evaluate.
just like- Yeah, go ahead.
Average?
Average, yeah. This is a very you begin to understand what he was talking about when he said it wasn't like a masterpiece. This is the equivalent of a bow that would be distributed to troops before a battle, or like a kind of like a military grade bow. Nothing above the ordinary, nothing below. It's probably going to take some stress, but it is not something you're going to be able to pass on to your ancestors. It's going to be something that's probably going to break in a couple of years if you take care of it.
He's going to look at it, pull the string, and slowly lower it back so he doesn't dry fire. And then he'll look at it considering for about 30 seconds before putting it back. And then saying, I'll be back. Well, I have a few other errands to do first. And as he leaves...
Go ahead.
As he leaves, he wants to look at the workshop in general with the intent to see, like, they're tied to the desks or their workstations. Does it look like those chains are meant to be undone to take them someplace else? Or is there, like, places the slaves are sleeping in there?
Roll me a perception, an average perception check.
I think I'll use a reroll.
Or choice. Okay. You look into the room and you notice that they seem to be they're bound by manacles to like a bar. It seems like a wooden bar that is on the below the workshop itself, the workstation itself. It's like those like very old manacles that is like almost like a cylinder of steel. Not steel, but like a iron cylinder. I'm gonna send a photo just because it's a little. It's gonna be on the out of character, image.
All right.
Okay. That's kind of like
Okay.
they're bound by their ankle to the workstation, so it seems to be unlockable. On the back of the shop, there is a little a door that is slightly ajar, and inside is a place where people can sleep. You see, there are a couple of like sleeping bags and things like that.
All right.
So it seems that they are unlocked at the end of the day, and then they are closed off on this little room. And whenever it gets whenever the sun rises, they are unlocked, bound to their workstations, and then left there to work.
All right. After I get away with Peas, I'm going to ask him where's the other eccentric guy.
He nods and says, "I'll take it to him. No problem." As you go there, Ashling and Tehetakai.
Yes.
Where did you two go? Did you go to got food, or what was your task?
Oh, my task is just gathering food.
Yeah, I think since we know we're gonna have to kind of like
Like it.
leg it, but also, yeah, that's actually a good point. So, like, on one hand, we kind of need to build up a stash to potentially take with us. B, we have a few days until the ritual, so we need to eat, until then. So,
And 3, it gives us a good layout of the land.
yeah, that too.
Okay.
So essentially what we're doing is we're watching for people's patterns, where they're coming and going from, as well as gathering herbs, roots, edible roots like potatoes or carrots if we can find them. We're also looking for things for teas, edible insects, mushrooms. Yeah.
I'm gonna say as you're going, one of you can give me a outdoor survival or a trade herbologist check, and
My
the other
outdoor
can give
survival
me.
is a 42.
It's higher than mine, but I can assist.
Okay, so I'll do both tests then.
And then the other can give me either a perception or an evaluate or a track. That is kind of like to check out the layout of the city.
Cool. I will handle that part.
Yeah.
Okay. So the outdoor survival, I just got a +5 on.
You said perception?
It could be perception, tracking, evaluate, just like these are different. They give you different results, but they are general tests.
Holy cow!
Oh baby! Oh
So,
baby!
Actually, what you do find is very interesting. Underneath what seems to be like a burned down structure, you see the beginning of a tunnel. And you see essentially this tunnel it is underwater, but it is like not underwater enough that you can't walk on. So it's a bit of like a drowned tunnel, and inside there seems to be a little mushroom farm.
Ooh.
Probably one of the Jakars knew a little bit more about mushrooms, and they were trying to cultivate mushrooms to have like a stable amount of food. Though this place seems to be burned out, and the entrance is a little hard to get to, so it might be just like the place fell and no one really bothered to check. You find inside enough to feed all of your people for one stage. So it could be the entire week, or 1 week going outside of the city. So like
awesome.
the expedition.
I'm just gonna type this right here. Okay.
Because you are knowledgeable enough that you can use this. You can keep these mushrooms in an environment that they wouldn't decay or anything like that. They wouldn't get dirty. Just enough that they would be good to eat now, or in 1 week if you ever go into the jungle or the sea.
All right.
As for your second test, roll a D100 for me, please.
I can do that. That's a 71.
71. Just let me check something real quick.
Wait, coffee and tea are not items in the game?
No.
Weird.
Not
Keep in
not
mind-
base, not base.
Sadly, coffee hasn't actually been introduced into the old world yet.
Wait, but we're literally in the place for it.
I know. It hasn't been introduced yet.
What about chocolate?
I don't know about that one. I
It
don't-
wouldn't also because the lizard, those are things that the lizardmen would have, but they wouldn't trade. So it does
Well, I
exist,
mean-
but it is not something traded to the outside people.
There might be a colony that specializes in it, but unfortunately, we don't get those kinds of details about the old world, which
Yeah,
is a bummer.
like tea is in the old world. Like that's an easy one, but it's not an item in the consumer's guide.
Coffee might be one of the things because coffee can also come from coffee might have come also from the region of Araby.
Oh, there's a what is it? It's actually from the Southlands. There's a plot hook.
I hope they call it.
Yes,
Arabian.
there is a coffee plot hook.
Yeah.
So there mu-
Because
so
I know Andy Law has a whole thing. He does a whole bit on coffee in one of the episodes of Lawhammer.
Yeah.
yeah, the coffee
it's,
might be like an
KT.
imported thing.
Yeah, there's a Southlands merchant trying to sell coffee in Bogenhaven
And
when
what book is that?
the enemy in Shadow's companion.
Yeah, the side book.
The book that I have read the least. I'll give
What?
it a read after.
There's good stuff in there.
I should really give it a read. But yeah, coffee would be something that exists, but probably an import. I don't think there's enough demand on the Empire for coffee to be produced inside.
That
But
is
tea,
very
probably.
likely. Outside of like probably very particular like noble circles.
Or maybe
half-
like super specialist herbalists.
Yeah, the halflings might be also hoarding it. So
Some life wizard somewhere. Just
There's a
hopped up
specific
with
Time
caffeine.
to find a bunch of chocolate and everything.
Oh my god, we'll be rich.
I think honestly, if you were to work with Tehetakai in the jungle, you might be able to produce chocolate. Because I think Tehetakai
we'll
is the
table
most
that.
likely person. But
We'll
we'll
table
Nope.
We'll-
Time
we'll
to
table
make
that.
this adventure about chocolate.
Indeed.
But you are able to find also some herbs that could be done into like a harmless tea. Nothing too tasty, but like at least enough that will warm people up during the night.
Implying the existence of harmful tea.
There's
mean,
a lot
there
of
is.
harmful tea. It's
I
usually
know,
just
I
called
know.
poison, but
Yeah, I know.
it is technically harmful tea.
Who poisoned him?
Yeah.
I gave him some harmful tea.
So you're able to find some. Is there something specific you're looking for, or just like harmless tea?
I'm just looking for like just teas in general, just so we have enough to drink for like a few days, probably like a few months, because tea is very easy to travel with.
Yeah. Something you do find as you're going around, you actually find something different that kind of like catches your attention because it is something you are familiar with. This is something that has an equivalent on the Empire. Probably wouldn't be the exact same herb, but it is equivalent to you. Which is something called a dream leaf. It also has
Okay.
a German pronunciation. Am I going to attempt that? Probably. Is a Schlaffenkalt. Which is basically...
You tried.
I tried, my bad. I have a sore throat, to be also fair.
Better than I would have done.
Schlaffenkraut.
Ah, there you go.
Kraut.
That's
yeah.
probably that's the
the
closest.
It's a make believe language
German-
anyway. Who cares?
The German R. Yeah, Germans don't exist. The German
Yeah, exactly.
R is a little hard to do in my throat, so I apologize.
Yeah. And neither do the Dutch, damn swamp Germans.
Damn swamp Germans. But it is essentially a sleeping, basically like a sleeping herb. It's something that is used very, um, v- very as little as they can, just to help people sleep. It can be used as a very powerful sedative, or to kidnap people. You wouldn't know about that, but it is a very potent uh, herb that can be made into tea.
All right. Cool. Got
I'll put it
tea.
in your inventory because it is from the Death on the Reich companion, which is a book I have read more. Just let me find the thing. There we go. I put it in your trappings.
Woo.
You should be able to read the description there because it is something you would know with trade herbologists.
Okay.
So as you're walking around, Ashling is mainly basically dealing with of objects and things like that. But the Tehetakai, you notice that there's a specific part of the river closer to the north of the slums that has a lot of traffic. And you notice that people walking there, people going from side to side with these large, kind of like large rowboats, very thick rowboats, they seem to be very well armed. They wear full sets of like chainmail armor, full and decorated shields, well kept swords and spears, and they seem to go to the north and then come back with crates inside their rowboats. And from looking, because you rolled a +4, you see that they are coming and going from what seems to be like a very large open house that is like tucked away inside what seems to be like a farming area.
Okay. With the tracking check, am I able to notice any action around the ship that we want to take, the big one?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
With the track check, as we're kind of like wandering around, especially near like the docks. Do I notice anybody kind of amidst the other stuff? Do I notice anyone coming and going from the what is it, the Silverfish?
South Star.
South Star.
South Star.
Yeah.
Give me a perception check, like an average perception.
I can do that. Never mind. No, I can't.
No, really. The region you're walking by is closer to the slums and the wall of the city. You don't have a good view of the docks. So as per the description you gave me of what Tehetakai is doing, I don't know if you would be able to see that.
Fair enough. And that is where we're going to have to end for today because we're out of time.
Oh, snap.
I think we can, next session, we're going to see like everyone convening back to the Eureka to change information. I think that's a good place to start.
Yep. All right. Great session, y'all. Good job. Good job, everyone. Good job.
We did it.